Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, the head trader at TradeView Markets. It's Monday morning. It's a Christmas week. It's December 20th, a little after 11 Eastern. Like I posted this. Okay, you know what? Let's log into TradeGATEHub. Here we are on TradeView Markets. It's the same for everybody. I log in the same way. It's a simple process. We made it this way so everybody can get right down to what's going on. Okay. Now, as I always say, the most amount of data, or the most amount of data, and it is, don't always keep in mind, it is quality over quantity that I post on Monday morning. And I don't want to be redundant or talk about everything that you should have went. I asked you at least, or let the audience to go through what happened Monday morning, because basically I'm going to tell you after I post this data what I'm thinking when my eyes open, and how I'm going to approach the day, and what I thought and what I did. So, and it's most of it, if not a lot of it, or all of it, is predicated upon this data. So, always watch Michael Santolio's video, Jim Cramer. I mean, this was pertinent in the morning when people wake up and the futures are down 800 points. The market's down 700, the Nasdaq's down worse. So you know what? The guy's relevant. Listen to what he says. So that said it right there. And I said I wasn't going to go through everything, but the bottom line is this is where we came in today. Right now we're down 86 handles on the futures. Got to be around here. This was crude, gold, and the VIX and the futures. S&P was here. Now this is what I concentrated on today. This was the Nasdaq. So as you can see, the Nasdaq, which I don't think, and it has in retrospect, and we could look at my screen in a second, wasn't real, like Jim Cramer even said, and I hate to quote him, but he is Joe Sixpack. No disrespect, Jim. You know, what does NVIDIA or AMD really have to do with COVID? I mean, I get it. The cruise lines were affected, and the banks were affected, and the oils were affected because they might have long-term residual effects. But and he was right about that, and it reflected in the Nasdaq. So this is what I concentrated on the most. I want to know what was the most oversold, and I want to know where my edge was. I'm looking for an edge. If I'm going to dip in with a lot of Monday morning uncertainty, and I certainly did because there's opportunity, and I'm an active manager. I'm here for a reason. So this is how I approached it. I said, NASDAQ futures this morning were looking down 1.5%. So they're here. Now we're going back to a year and a half of NASDAQ data. Now, once I always say that this is one particular tool, but I like the way the NASDAQ has been acting to a degree on the bounces. Wasn't going to dip. By the way, the airlines did go up. I'm not really sure why that happened, but I digress. But here was the Nasdaq, and this is what I focused on. So it's now up to you if you want to try the long side, to buy the dip and sell the little bit of a bounce, or we know that the biggest rallies come on bear or bull market bounce. It's not really the bull market is a bull market. It takes some time. But these bounces are short squeezes. A squeeze is a squeeze. They call it a squeeze because it doesn't last for 2 years. A squeeze is something that happens in a rapid move, and they come on short squeeze rallies. And some of that happened this morning. Some worked, some didn't. And I don't want, I'll be straight up today. If you listen to the Tim Fury relative strength and you bought green on the open, you got paid in the first half an hour. Also write that down. I'll get back to it. So this is what I was looking at. That's how I approached it. So go through the rest of the data. Goldman data was still bullish in my opinion because they're lightly positioned, and Goldman has a lot of cash. Hedge funds exposure, they flinched. They're almost at the bottom. Look at every time the hedge funds, sell off, it's almost a contraindicator. So once again, my plays this morning were quick, and I also want to say one thing else. If anybody has a question like, Mike, what do you think about the cannabis stocks, or with the cannabis stocks, or do you think maybe these casinos are down here? All of these short squeeze stocks that squeezed before will not squeeze. Square is down 50%. Twitter is on sale 30%. Who's going to take their chance at buying one of these short little low float stocks when you can get right now Macy's 30% off the high? There's the edge. You know what I mean? You don't want to be stuck in one of these little low floaters that won't turn around, because you know what? The losses are just, by the way, this is another stat. I don't want to keep going of getting scattered. The majority of losses are done on small price stocks. Fact. Anybody wants to back test it, do their due diligence, blah, 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 get back to me. Even in my speculative account, my biggest losses as I speak, I don't have many of them, but they are losses, and they come from these small speculative stocks. So, if you're looking for CGC to bounce, which got downgraded today at $6, I don't have an interest in CGC. What how good in your timing has to be in order to get CGC or Canopy or one of these stocks like SNDL. When you're looking at right now, Facebook is, I'll get back to this charts in a second. So go over the data, S&P breadth. I put out Bank of America's picks for every sector in 2022. It's really not that bullish considering that everyone is literally in the safest sector out there. Disney, Exxon, Wells Fargo, I agree. CVS a little extended, Eaton, Eastman Chemicals, and NRG. That's not the sexiest list coming off a 23% move in the S&P in 2021. So Walter Bloomberg's upgrades and downgrades. So this is how I'm approaching the day as I look. So now I wake up and let me go to my screen. Let me share. Where's my chart? Here we go. Here's my Twitter feed, okay? So now I also keep in mind that I'm looking to buy some NASDAQ stocks because, as I said, and if I repeat myself, if I repeat myself, I apologize. It's at your benefit. It's also for my behalf. So I'm looking here. So I'm saying, okay. So as you can see my screen here, Zoom opened up. Netflix is up 9. I think AP, hold on a second. Let me see what I got here. All I have is right now, I have 100 calls in path. By the way, that opened very nicely. That's only down 1. And I took some hood here. I'm buying some hood. So this is my screen as we speak. So, and I'll even show you my trades from today. Canceled orders. So if you can look on the bottom here, I was trying to buy NASDAQ stocks, AI, MP, ZI, and I did buy some stocks. So I was looking to buy MP. Where's MP? You know what? I have to shrink the screen up a touch. Can I do that? Hold on a second. I apologize. Can't pull this freaking thing. All right, here's MP. I was bidding for this at the bottom. What is that? 39.78. So I liked MP. And I was bidding for this 39.78 right here at the 50-day. I didn't get it. And if I wanted it, by the way, MP, it opened in the hole. The low was 40.80 and the high of the day was 42.30. So, and by the way, the reason why I liked it is because I posted this on TradeGATEHub, if you will. And I was doing my due diligence over the weekend. Like I said, I didn't want to buy and get stuck in one of these low flowers. If the market did not cooperate, I wanted to have stocks that I would be okay being down on in a couple of days. And I saw that MP was on one of my, in 5, look at all these other, by the way, you can look over these videos and go over it and pause it. Look how all these other stocks did today. So MP, I took a shot at. I didn't get it. So I moved on. Next. What else did I bid for? We'll go here. I bid for AI, 3,029.88. AI, that's been acting well. 29.88. The low today was 30.70. Maybe I was getting a little bit cavalier. But by the way, even if I did want it, AI opened at 30, closed at 31.80. It opened at 30.70. And by the way, if I did get it, it'd be at 32. I probably would have sold it. But that chart I liked. It was basing. Didn't make a new lows. It's above the gap. It's had very good news. It's had decent volume. So I liked MP. So what else did I do? ZI I like. Now ZI was a gimme. I shouldn't have even gotten picky. The stock is technically sound. It's above the 200-day. It's acting great. The NASDAQ's breaking new lows, at least in a relative basis, and the stock's well above the highs. So I bid for that where? On the bottom left here, 59.24. ZI today, the low was 60. But even if I did get it and I didn't get freaking be a baby about it, I would have bid for it. Stock opened at 62 and it was down nicely, $2.20. I should have got it near the 60 strike price, and I didn't. The stock went to 62.29. That's $2. Gave you 5% there. But what did I do? So I was looking at my screen, and I was looking at Label, and I was looking at Pfizer, and I was looking at CRISPR. I bought CRISPR. CRISPR had news. Let's look at where I bought the stock here. chart parameters, my trades, the entries are blue and the sales are red. CRISPR, chart parameters. Hold on, apply. So I'm buying CRISPR today. I've been liking the stock. I've been touting it. It's had a nice triangle-based pattern, and the lower it got, the more I bought. My buys on CRISPR. My first buy is right here, 78.10. Second buy, 77. My third buy, 77.16. So my first one was 78. My last buy is 76.5. So I'm buying here. All right. So my average price is like 77.5. I sold it at 80. And well, some here I took above the well, 79, it stalled. Then it made the gap move up. So I made whatever, 3,000 in CRISPR. That's my best of breed. And I also looked how Nutella was doing, because if you should know that CRISPR also goes with Nutella. I didn't look how Nutella did, but I would bet that these charts are very similar. Oh, you know what? Nutella's a laggard, so I'm wrong. I bought the right one. Nutella, I might think about buying today because I like it here. I like this move on volume. I like all the moves have been above the moving averages. I like it's a bio, and it's the best of breed. I like Nutella, but I didn't buy it. What else did I buy? Let's go down here. Let's go to my trades. What else did I do today? I bought MU. Trades. I bought Twitter. I bought MU. Where did I buy it? Oh, Colt I had overnight. This was a winning trade. Colt. Why did I take Colt overnight? I had that overnight too. By the way, I sold it on the open. I didn't want a low floater. And I was basically right. The stock has no range. But this is what it did on Friday. And I took it because the stock in 2 days went from 14 to 27. So a stock that moves $13 and closes above the moving average, I got an interest. I only took 600 shares, but I made $4 on it. That's where I sold it. I had it overnight. Closed at 23. I sold it at 27. I bought MU. MU has earnings tonight. Now, I didn't trade MU very well. Subsequently, it looks like I did. I haven't looked. So MU has earnings tonight. And I'm obviously very interested because it's been holding up very well. All the semis are acting well. TradeGATEHub, I believe, was up today at one point. What a chart. Lamb Research, the best of breed hanging in there. Certainly, I'm not looking to Square. To look at Square, still can't base. What is Twitter doing? I bought and I sold that. Good thing I sold it. Still can't base. Facebook. Broken the 200-day. I mean, that caught a lot of people off guard. That was a long. And if you didn't, where's Facebook now? That's not holding well with the NASDAQ, but that doesn't have a range. Let me go back to what I did. I bought MU. I might want to take some into earnings. Advanced trade, I won't take a lot. I might take options. And why am I going to take options? Because MU is an $80 stock. And if I'm wrong, I don't want to get blown out and idiots at all my buying power. So what I will do, if I will do it, I'm not sure. I will buy in the money 80 calls. So if it's basically a binary event. But I do like MU even on the long term. But if it breaks, it's in trouble. So I wanted MU. I looked at a position as a feeler. And the reason why I did that is TradeGATEHub was positive at one point. AMAT, or look at AMD. AMD at one point was even positive. AMD gave you an out. Now it's breaking low down $3. Nevada, which I should have bought at 272 because Jim Cramer saying buy and it won't affect Nevada. So Joe Sixpack bought Nevada and it went from 270 to 280. That's $10. It's not really that much risk to reward there. So I bought MU, getting to back my MU trade. So as you know, my blues are buys. So I bought MU on the open. I think I bought 2,000 shares. So I bought 2,082. So it wasn't acting correctly. The last buy I made here was 81.5, and that was going to be my last buy. And why was that? Because it was still close to the 200-day. I had some 200-day support there. And by the way, I was pretty confident that they weren't going to break it. I wasn't willing to buy any more, but I did sell it. My bottom line is I bought it. At 82 was my first price. My last price was 81. So my average price was 81.90, and I scratched, whatever. I lost $25, but I had 3,000 shares of it, of an $80 stock that ate $250,000 of my buying power. I didn't want to marry it. I could have, by the way, sold it at 83.20 and made another $1 on it. But you know what? I moved on, and I'm relegated to watch how it does into numbers. What are we doing now in the market? Down 84. Hood doing no good now. Overstock, BLI, STI, TSP was positive. What are they moving now? Let's go to TradeGATEHub. No, I don't even label you diverging, buddy. Great point on short squeeze. Label is diverging. You know what I read, Coach? This is what I'm going to read to you on my Twitter feed. And I'm not in the position. Oh, you know what? I did buy label. Let me show you why I bought label this morning. I bought it. That was another one I bought. It was my chart. Label. As you know, my blues are buys and my reds are sales. So I bought label, my first buy this morning, right here. 36.50. Sold it. 37.90, $1.40. Bought it on the dip. Bought it more on the dip. Sold it. So that's where I sat on label. I acted like a day trader, but it is diverging. I do to agree. But XBI is down 1%. Label is down 4%. XBI chart. I like it. I like it. It's beaten down. They could listen. If you're going to buy something, that's one. But getting back to what I was saying about TradeGATEHub, usually I'll go to my moving page, but we can go right here. Stocks. Right here, I want to get a snapshot. Top US losers. Percentage change in order. SPRB, OCC, BL Sava was down $8. These are all, SQM was a big downgrade. That took down the lithium stock. This is all I need. We eventually, and work on it on a daily basis, trust me, because I don't want to have 19 sites going either. So all this data is basically going to be this data, this topless data. Let's look at the topless for today. What's moving near the high? What's a lot of stocks are near the high? That's not bad. What's near the low with volume? We only care about volume. Let's talk about relative volume today. SQM. Okay, this will edify how good of a product we're trying to be. Seriously, here's SQM on my hot list right here, and here is TradeGATEHub. Here's SQM right here. What else do we have? Gush, same thing. It's up there. So what I'm saying is, eventually we're going to make this a one-stop area where all you have to do is look at our top news list. I'm getting off the topic, but we're proud of it. There's our stock list. 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago for Bitcoin. Let's look at our commodity chart dashboard. Right there, every commodity you need to know. Sexy. Well done, guys. I'm going to use this more often now that I'm getting over it. Let me go back to the watch page. A trading room. Label was diverging. Okay, now what page are we on here? So as long as I'm on this list and everybody trusts the situation, relative volume. So suppose I just got back from, I end the video and I'm saying I get down my pad, I'm looking. So SQM has a $5 range with 200% volume as of 11:15 in the morning, and it's moving the other stocks. I got an interest. Sava, I have an interest. FAS, that tells me FAS is the triple ETF for financials. Then I know if FAS is down here, then I go to my screen. I know that Citibank must be down nice. Where's my other screen? And all the financials. That's the first thing I think of. Where's Citi? Right here, down $1.70. JP Morgan. Morgan Stanley's down 2. JP Morgan. So that's what I see. So I go back and I see what else is weak today. So I go to Devon Energy's weak. TNA, that means the small TNA. You should know what TNA compromises. That's financials and oils. That's why the NASDAQ, I knew that TNA was down the most this morning, percentage-wise, and knowing everybody. If you have any questions about that, very simple, go here. What constitutes TNA stock? Whatever, constituents, right here. It'll tell you. TNAF report, it'll show you holdings. So if everybody goes, well, why is TNA down 6% and the other ones are not? You know what I mean? You get it. You can do it here. Hold on. Well, I want to complete my point. TNA stocks. You go constituents is actually, I have to do it. Constituents. Yeah, this has the rating right. Am I on the right page? This has the rating right here. If you're wondering why TNA is down that much. Basic materials, consumer cyclicals, financial services, that's it. So I don't want to be redundant, but let's go back to the other page. So I'm saying, all right, so that they're keeping down the financials and they're keeping down TNA. So what's strong? I bet you there are some tech stocks that are on near the high. Cisco, there you go. They ran to Cisco. Vonage, SFM, that's a trade view big position. Everybody should know about it. That's one of our ones. Procter and Gamble makes me nervous. Procter's near the high, but it has no volume. Pepsi, you don't want these stocks on the high, but what do you have on the low here? On the day. Billy, Crocs, John Deere, that's not good. Carvana, we covered at 220, left a little money on the table. Roku reversed. Baba, we have no interest in Chinese stocks at the moment, or probably anything going forward. Capital One, that's a part of FAST. AXP is a part of FAST. Let's go to the sexy page. Am I getting into too much time here? BDSI, Turbo breaks up, new daily highs, APTS, that's a bio. SQM, that's come up a lot. That's going to come up even more, I have a feeling. That's the battery play. Let's look at SQM. Talking about it 19,000 times. The Chilean battery play, isn't it? Lewis, where are you? SQM. Oh, that's arguably a best of breed. So that if I see that, what's lithium doing? Naturally down 7%. So they're taking down all battery plays. LAC was the best of breed. Where was my SLI? I was short this at 9.5. 825. I didn't leave much. QS, the other battery, but that's the spec battery. So SQM, when I saw that down early, if I was being an active day trader, I would have said, okay, this thing, once it broke the flag and broke low, probably could have shorted at 49, but you could have had lithium once it broke low. 22 to 28. LAC, how about that one? That didn't give you much if it broke the flag. You know what? You could have made a little money. 27.40 to 26. That's not really worth it, but SQM is worth to keep an eye on. Do I have any questions? TradeGATEHub. Anybody have any questions? All right. So where do we sit? I haven't looked at the market, so that's a surprise to me too. We're down 77 handles. The low on ES is what? Hood being an issue now. So you see, I'm down on Hood a little bit of money. What am I going to do with it? 2 weeks, the 2-week chart on Hood. I don't want Hood to break 1791. Let's go to 1 week. I don't want it to break this gap here. This big that it held. See this gap and this big down move, even this move here, it held. It held here. So I don't want it breaking 1790. This move right here, I think is exaggerated because this was the open and it was fear. But I don't want the stock breaking 1790. 1790. It looks like it's going lower. I might even sell it. But whatever. What else did I have? Overstock, BLI's positive, TSP, Colt, Lebu, Baba. All Chinese stocks are breaking new lows. Let's look at Baba. The Baba chart. Chart. Baba, no interest. JD, no interest. Look at JD. Billy, I bought that on Friday. I sold and I look like a loser because I didn't make that much. But now I look like a hero because one day doesn't make a reversal. Now it's breaking on volume. See that? That's good. I wish I could show you where I bought it 2 days ago. 2 days ago, it was right here. I bought it around here. I bought it like at 47. I sold it at 49 on Friday and it wound up going to 51. So I left $2 on the table. But once it broke the gap, Billy, now it's in big trouble. I wouldn't even try to bottom fish it. The RSI is what? Bottom left here, 24. No, it's over. A donut Tober breakup. What's going on there? Donut I see on my list. That's not a turbo breakup. That's a short squeeze. Or that's a cover. All right, I'll leave it at that. So right now we're at 80 handles. We don't want the futures breaking which area. That might be for the coach to chime in. Here's our ES. Here's our daily. Oh yeah, we're yeah. They got them now. Where's the TNA? right here. That's down 8%, breaking a new low. TQQQ, or the Qs, the NASDAQ, which is only down 1.5%, but you can't be a hero either. This is not the time. So this is what I'm thinking. Now, as of 11:30 Eastern, I look at this. I'm glad I sold some of the stocks. I'm not glad I held Hood, and I am going to sell it. I'm not going to let that loss get good. These are my buys or sells for today. Carvana, Coke, AT&T can't even hold the upgrade. Lucid, Tesla, no good. NIO. Look at NIO. There's NIO. I think that was unchanged this morning. Yep, they played the bounce, and that was it. NIO just getting I bought XPEV at the number at 40, and I sold it. Here's my XPEV, and this stock should have went, and I didn't let my ego get in the way of me. I bought a bunch of it, like 4,000 shares right here at 40. You know that the buys are the blue and the sells are, so I sold it, whatever, bought it, whatever, 40, 30, and I made 30 cents. And I didn't like it and didn't act well. The stock should have been 41. So I sold it, and I had 4,000 shares, and the stock's right here at 39.18. So I sold it at 40.32, and I sold it. Now it's at, so I saved myself 4,000. Where's Hood? All right, Hood, hang in there, baby. What else? Let's go to my Twitter feed. I'll leave it at that. Any other questions? Good stuff. Thanks, Coach. NASDAQ's higher or lows. Tomorrow's the. I agree, Coach. You know what? Why I didn't step in? I agree. I waited for the turnaround. I'm waiting for a proverbial turnaround Tuesday too. And if we talk about seasonality all the time, why can't I talk about turnaround Tuesday? So I'm in. My Twitter feed. Let's go to that. What are they doing recently? First of all, I narrowed it down. It's a great Twitter feed. I actually retweeted something I thought was relevant. Tweets and replies. Anyway, let's see what the Sharpies, if any option act, if any smart guys are dipping in on action. Stocks above the 2-moving average. Hold on a second, please. I need option activity. NIO bullish. I don't know why that is. Pfizer, Riven, Piton bearish. Not much any activity. This is 9 minutes ago. Not much of any noticeable activity out there, but a few top bets. What are they playing? Facebook. All right, so somebody's stepping in Facebook. Good for them. But aside from that, any other option flow that I follow, and this is an active feed, anti-VIX remains at a buy signal, but it's not doing. The market's not bouncing right here. So you want everything to stay suppressed. And, the margin calls are over. It's now 11:30 Eastern. We have to look at around 2:30 Eastern. That's when the margin calls come in again, but no one's stepping in. And I'm not going to do it either. I don't want to be the first one in the pool. As you can see by my account here, we're mostly cash. And Hood can't bounce. Hang in there, you bastard. But I'll leave it, I'm going to do, talk to my peers, do some of my research, go back to what's moving. Certainly APTS is good. Mike, do you think tomorrow a good time to buy? I do, Lewis. I do. I think, listen, what you want is more weakness. No, I don't like the banks. I like any bank I would like. Okay, why am I answering? I'm going to tell you why I'm giving you my answer about the banks. I appreciate the question. Let's go to my Twitter feed. Let's go to my charts. Okay. Citibank, which has been a problem for some time. That one on valuation alone, it's just too high. It's too European and highly leveraged. Jim Cramer did say he's taking a position in JP Morgan today. Now, JP Morgan, here's my chart, is the best of breed. And listen, if that chart was, it's gonna need some, it's not gonna, I wouldn't buy listen, the answer is, it's not gonna make a move up. It's not gonna make this V move up. So if you would buy a bank, buy them in pieces. This is not gonna be the bottom. And I don't think this is gonna be make any V-shaped move. And we're gonna be saying, we picked the bottom and look, we could have had JP Morgan at 155 and here it is 165. I don't think that move is going to happen. So, if you want to buy banks, sure, I wouldn't talk. I mean, buy a best of breed. I don't want to get, and you want to buy a best of breed in the banks because they'll react well. Let's say American Express. What's Visa doing? Visa acts okay. Wells Fargo seems to be the one that I would, you know what? I would buy Wells Fargo. And you know what? And I'm on the record. And by the way, if you look this morning, if that's any edification, I can understand why Bank of America named Wells Fargo its top likely benefits, because this one has, Wells Fargo, and it probably, you can understand that, Louis, has more catching up to do. If you look at like a 5-year chart, Wells Fargo had more legal overhang. And that's a 5-year. And if you pull up like a 5-year in JP Morgan, you can see it's a lot better than Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo, I think, has a little bit of catch. I like Wells Fargo. Any other questions, Louis? That's it on the Wells Fargo. The banks, tomorrow is a decent time to buy. You know what? It's probably a decent time to buy to nibble in because the NASDAQ is so oversold. But you're going to be wrong before you're going to be right. But it's a time to start accumulating good stock. Look at, I've avoided getting, trying to buy Square or PayPal. I mean, these stocks, forget it. Twitter, I tried this morning. I want to try again. But Facebook, I don't like it's broken. Apple, best of breed. All right, it held. Take a shot on Apple. It's a crowded thought. Microsoft is below the moving averages. I don't like anything now. IB, Amazing Riot. It's Amazing Riot and Mara. Mara I like. Riot's best of breed. I don't like. Let's look at the BITO, the ETF. This is the Bitcoin Trust. We bought it here, remember? We bought it here. Made a nice trade. But now what do you do? Look at coin. I don't know. Take a shot at some coin. I drew this line for a reason, but they broke the line. Let's look at the CGC. Marijuana. Oh, God. GRWG. I don't like anything now. What's the market doing? Let's get back to it. It was down 80 handles. Now it's down 84. The hood. Plan. Stocks are doing bad now. I'm glad I sold all the stocks that I was in. IONQ, Sienna, XPEV, Tesla breaking low, NIO, Net, AFRM. Here, they tried to get everybody on AFRM this morning. They did the rip and dip. Look at that chart. You know what, AFRM, I definitely take a shot at the 200-day, but if you weren't quick, they didn't sell it. I mean, there was a nice trade to buy it at 95 and sell at 99, but now you're stuck. What do you do? But thanks for participating, Louis and Coach. Anybody else? Any other questions you like, please let me know, or any of the data. Not appear your graphics. Hold on, Louis. Oh, I see. Because I'm changing, thank you for telling me, I'm changing screens so much that I have to share them more, but I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll get better at that. For example, when I change from other screens, I have to share again, and I'm not sharing the screen. For example, I'll do this. Now you can see this. I'll share to my Twitter feed. But thanks, Louis. I'll be more cognizant of that. Here's my TV. So I'll let you go. It's 11:35. I went a little over. But any other questions, be here. I'll answer them later. We're at the lows on the futures. I don't like even the fact that Zoom video that should be up today, even on a speculation situation alone. But we'll get back to you after lunch. Thanks for participating. Trade well, and we'll see you a little bit later. Have a plan. I'll be on tomorrow morning early. We'll have a plan together, guys. Cheers.